Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. I am Sanyukta Saxena and today is the fourth session on our Zendala fever, the series that we are running wherein we are exploring different string ideas and using the Zendala tile, right, the round tile. So today this is the string that we are going to explore and I'm going to quickly show you how to draw the string, right. So I have marked the center of my Zendala here. Yeah. So this is the string that we are going to work on. So you can see that there is a flower in the center and there are some star shapes on the top, right? So just for reference sake, I'm going to draw a circle here so that my inner flower doesn't extend beyond it, right? So this is just for reference to limit my inner flower to that line. Yeah, and then you can see there are petals 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So we need 10 divisions, right? So just randomly divide it into 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Yeah, so we have then now 10 sections. Now you don't have to go till the end. You can see I have taken this end. So this basically has a a slanting line, then one line like this, then again coming down the V, and then again a slanting line like this. So this is the shape of the petal, right? So again a slanting line, a V, and then again a slanting line. So basically this is the shape. So right from here, go little slanting, go up, go down, and then come down, right? Again, go up. So do that exercise for all. Again, slanting line, up, down, and then again a slant, right? So this is the shape of the petal: slant, up, down, slant, and then come down, right? So again I'll go like this, go up, come down, again give a slant like this, come down, up, 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 again come down, right? So this shape is important because this will help you to make the star, right? V shape, up, inverted V, again slanting line, come down. V shape, up, down, again slanting line, come down. V shape, up, down, again slanting line, come down. V shape, up, down, slanting line, come down. If you have a more simpler way to draw it, please go ahead. I couldn't find, this is how I drew the string, right? Now you have these V shapes and this shape. So three part of the star is already there with you. Just complete the star, right? Just complete the star and you are sorted. So this is how you can, this is a simple way to draw the string, right? And then these lines are joined, the tips are joined together. So just join them with each other. Right, so your string is ready. So this is the original. I'll be working on this string today. So let's get started and let's see. We'll start with a tangle called Droop, right? So till the place the lines are straight, I'm going to ink the line. So we didn't really use the markers today, but if you want you can mark those 10 points and then go ahead and draw the flower, right? So it is entirely up to you. So if you want to use the markers, you can do that. So I'm first going to ink this petal shape, nice beautiful shape, right? So just The pencil is pretty dark here, so I just had to show you, so I darkened it. Otherwise you need not draw the string. You generally draw it very lightly, right, so it goes invisible. So you can make out what is the shape of the petals of the flower, and the shape is essential to form that star that you see above it, right? So till here I'm going to again aura the section, because droop is drawn in that fashion. You aura the inside of each of the sections that is formed. Yeah, so slowly aura each of the V shapes, the sections. Take your time. Right, so once we are done that, now start with the last, because I want to limit it there. So I am starting with the last curve. This is the tangle droop. Last session also I think I mentioned I forgot to write the names of the tangles. I keep mentioning the name but I forget to write it, so I will mention the names in today's session, right? So I have limited it. Now just going to zoom in a little more. So some more layers inside. Again a third layer. Take your time. So Droop is again a Zentangle original, and very simple to draw, as you can see. Just arranging C shapes in a circle. Yeah. So once we are done with that, now is the time to ink. So you can ink it completely or you can leave a highlight like this, right? So ink these sections, adds a lot of drama. Sections are not very big, so slowly ink each of them, and if you wish you can leave a highlight like this. Yeah, so they look pretty delicate here. I have not given very thick lines. Yeah, so I finished with the inking, and you can see here it adds so much drama to your tile. Little portion of inking, right? So next step in Droop is to add these H marks or thatching, whatever you want to call it. Nice light, looks like shading. Yeah, so take your time and just add these inside each of the sections for all the layers. That's a part of the tangle droop. However, if you want a tangleation, you can always add some other pattern inside 2 layers. That's entirely up to you. I'm going with the original here. I like it that way. Looks very delicate, like flower. Yeah, so I'm going to do this for all the layers. So starting with the second layer, same exercise. Yeah, so I'm done with 3 layers. I'm just going to add a small orb in the innermost, not going to add those swooshes on those edge marks inside. Yeah, so done with the droop. Now this section entirely up to you. How do you want to go about? So just add a flower, or you can add anything else, something like this. Yeah, the space is like that. I feel like adding it, so you can add any other pattern of your choice, entirely up to you. Yeah, so it's kind of a flux arranged like flower. Yeah, so again going to the next, same thing. Take your time, add these lovely petals, add these lines inside with a dot. Ink the small little spaces. Yeah, right, so I'm still continuing with the exercise, adding these petal shapes inside this shape that is formed. Yeah, so you're free to add anything else here, just that the shape makes me draw this petal here. If you can accommodate some other tangle nicely, you can, of course. Please go ahead with that. So just an idea, as I keep saying, use the string differently, add your own different tangles. A lot of my subscribers doing great work using the string, adding their own touch. Really feel happy to see, right? So you're free to tangle along with me or use the string as an opportunity and create something of your own, right? Now I'm going to outline the star next, right? So it's basically moving like this, but if you want you can give it a different shape, but basically the shape is just going like this. Yeah, so these are basically what we are doing is a pre-strung tile. We are planning the tile, planning the string beforehand, using it as it is, or you have the freedom to overlook it at places partly, wholly, right? So that's entirely up to us. How do we want to use the string? Now this section, let us see what tangle do we want to add. Or let us do one thing first, right? So I'm going to add the tangle Zenith here. Yeah, so I really like this shape again, so I think Zenith will look nice. So I'm adding these rice shapes in this curve that is formed using the shape, because Zenith has a similar shape. So without tampering the shape much, I have converted this into Zenith. Yeah, so I'll just zoom out a little. Sometimes the zoom doesn't work at all. Yeah, so I'm now going to add some etching here also, or you can add something else, entirely up to you, right? So I'm going to add some etching here also. Nice, looks really nice. Yeah, both sides. So first you can take one corner so that you don't have to move your hand much, the way you are comfortable. Right, so take your time and add these nice delicate lines emanating from both sides of the rice shape. Yeah, I'll just quickly do that. So I'm done with that exercise. The next step is to add, generally there is a V shape and then you add a droplet or a orb on it, right? So that's the general way we draw Zenith, but I'm going to add a moon, add two auras, and then add these petal shapes just like we draw for henna drums, right? So that's what I am going to do, and we can do it on both sides, but I'm going to keep the star as it is and we will do something else inside the star. Yeah, so again moon shape, two auras, and these petal shapes, something like henna drums. Again moon shape, ink it completely, add two auras, and then add these petal shapes, right? So I'm just going to continue like this, add two auras, and then add these petal shapes. So I am on the last one now, adding henna drums. Yeah, so now we are left with this star shape. So I'm just going to add one nice curl here and then add lines emanating from that curl with a little weight at the end. Yeah, like this. So you can call it a fragment or you can call it a combination of printum and a fragment. So drawing a line, adding some weight at the end. Yeah, you can add some weight on one side of the printum. It will add a little more character. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for all. Add a nice printum. So continuing with the same, I'm now on the last two, adding a little weight to my printum also. Yeah, and then going back and adding these nice lines with a weight at the end. It is not any particular tangle or fragment. You can call it a fragment, but it is again a combination of two things, right? So self creation using whatever we know. There's so much you can create with just a few tangles that you know, right? So and the last one in the same manner. Yeah, so done with that exercise, right? So now I'm just going to add a nice border to my tangles like this. I'm drawing pretty close, adding an aura to the henna drums and the zenith together. Right, so nicely aura your drums and the outer part of the zenith like this, right? So now rest of the tile again entirely up to yours. So I'm just going to add some thick and thin lines just like this, right? So you can call it Knight's Bridge, you can call it any other tangle, simplified Marasu, or just line work. Just going to go on like this, add some thick and thin lines all around my tile. Yeah, so I'm almost finishing that exercise of adding some thick lines, thin lines, right? Such simple line work, and you can see how beautiful the tile looks like. Yeah, so done with that exercise. Now we are finished with the tangling part. Let us now quickly move on to shading. So shading the droop again on two sides. So spaces are less, so don't add too much of graphite. Just slight touch, not much. Easy. Nothing on the curves because you have already added the thatching. So just touch the two corners, two edges of the V, and you're sorted. Yeah, this you can either add at the ends or you can add around the orb. So whichever way you feel like, you have both the choices. You can also add around here. Yeah, so I'm just adding around the center. Right, and then again same exercise, you can either add at the edges. So in this one probably we'll add at the edges, yeah, or you can add around the printum. So this one, because I want to separate my star from my flower, so I'll add around the edges like this for all. And as far as henna drum, again here. Yeah, As far as the rice shapes are concerned, for the zenith, again we have added thatching. There is not really much requirement to shade it, right? Again, enclose this section. Do that for all. Slowly add the graphite at the corners or the edges of the star shape. Yeah. We are about done. Yeah. Now let us start to blend, and then we'll see if we want to add any more. So we already have a highlight in the center of our droop. So leave that white and just blend the two sides. Yeah, simple shading. We are done, right? Next is around the center of the flower. Slowly blend it. Don't blend too much. You want the petals to show white, right? Third is this. So again, don't blend too much. Leave some portion white in the center. Right? So continuing to blend the inside section of the star. So I'm blurring the pencil, but I'm making sure that I don't spread it too much. Yeah. So that my printum stands out white. And there is some portion surrounding it which is white. Yeah. Moving on to the henna drums. We did not blend this one. Yeah. Yeah. And last but not the least, I am going to use my gray watercolor pencil. Yeah. So I'm just going to find, yeah. So I have my gray watercolor pencil here. So I'll quickly add some gray. Why this? Because I want it dark so that my tangle portion starts to float over the background. Yeah, so you can do that with your pencil also, but you'll have to press it pretty hard so that you get that effect which you will get with this gray watercolor pencil. Yeah, so just add it at the edges, repeat the aura. This is a simpler way to do that exercise. However, you can very well do that with the pencil also. The darker pencil probably. So when you do that, then the backgrounds recedes and the center portion starts to float on the background, that kind of an effect. Yeah, so I have this brush here, water brush. I'm just going to blend it softly. Yeah, so take your time and carefully blend it with a brush. Yeah, so I'm done with my blending, and you can see how the centerpiece starts to float on the background. Yeah, so I'm now going to close my tile here. So find a place, put your chop, right, and sign and date it. Today is 6th of April 22, right? So the last tile that we drew was this, and the tangles that we used here were paradox. I'll use a bolder pen. Yeah, the center flower is paradox. It is a Zentangle original, right? This tangle is Wells, again a Zentangle original, and this tangle is called W2, right? It is not an original, however, it is very much close to a tangle called Huggins, that is Zentangle original, and these inverted flowers is a tangle called Nice, which is again a Zentangle original. Yeah, so that was about this style. In this today's style, we have used some patterns. The center pattern is called Droop, is again a Zentangle original. Then we have used some flux arranged as flowers. We have used a fragment which is a mix of printum and some lines, weighted lines, right? So mix of two fragments. And outer one is basically the pattern Zenith, but a tangleation, because we have added Zenith and henna drums, right? So it is Droop, flux, printums with a fragment, and a Zenith tangleation, and the tangleation is because this portion is henna drums, right? Background is simple Knightsbridge. So that is our tile for today. Shall see you again with another new string, right? Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.